Welcome students. In the earlier part, we have seen some basic concepts of square numbers and we have learned some basic properties of square numbers. Now, in this session, we will learn some methods to find the square root of any number. Basically, there are four different methods: repeated subtraction method, prime factorization method, long division method, and estimation method. But in this session, we will focus on two different methods. One repeated subtraction method and the next one prime factorization method, which we will learn to find the square root of any number. Let's start with the repeated subtraction method. Now, to find the square root using repeated subtraction method, we have to follow some basic steps. In this method, just we need to subtract the odd number from the given number till we get the result 0. We have to subtract the odd number 1 first, then after we have to subtract 3 from the remaining number, then 5, then 7, then 9, on and on until we get 0 as the result. Remember, if we are not going to get 0 at the end of the process, it means the number is not the perfect square number. We cannot find the square root of that type of particular numbers in the integer form. Now, after the subtraction till 0, how actually we can decide the result or the square root of the given number? We need to count the number of observations we have subtracted from the given number. Now, to understand it better, let's have the example. Now, suppose we need to find the square root of number 64. How we are going to find the square root of this number? Here we have to use the repeated subtraction method. As I have said earlier, we need to subtract odd numbers from the given number starting from 1. So, from the 64 number given, we are subtracting 1 here first, remaining number now 63. Then the next odd number we need to subtract, that is 3. Similarly, we are actually keep subtracting the odd numbers from the remaining numbers. So, at the end, when actually we are subtracting 15, then we are getting the result 0. You can see that. Now, what we need to count to get the answer, how many odd numbers we have subtracted. Let's count. First of all, we have subtracted 1, then 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13 and 15. Exactly, we have subtracted 8 consecutive odd numbers. So, the result, the square root of the number 64 is nothing but 8. Now, this method is known as repeated subtraction method. Hopefully, you have understood this. Now, let's have one more example to understand the method thoroughly. Let's try to find out the square root of 89 using the same method, that is known as repeated subtraction method. As you know, to apply the method, we have to subtract the odd numbers from the given numbers starting from 1. So we are subtracting 1 over here from 89. Then from the remaining number we are going to subtract the consecutive odd number, that is 3. Then 5 we are subtracting, then 7, and you can check in the 9th step. We have subtracted 17 As a result, we are getting the last number 8. Now, from 8, if I am going to subtract the next odd number, that is 19, I will get my answer in the form of a negative integer, which is not a 0. So here, by subtracting those odd numbers consecutively, we are not getting the answer 0. So what we can say? 89 is not the perfect square number. We cannot find its square root in the form of integers. But remember, we can find the square root of 89 in the form of decimals using the method which were known as long division method, which we will learn later on. Hopefully you have understood the particular method which is known as repeated subtraction method. One more method to find the square root of a number we need to learn in this session. The method is known as prime factorization method. Let's focus here, but before actually learning the method, it is necessary to have the knowledge of prime numbers and composite numbers. Now, let's try to recall the concept of prime and composite numbers. Here the table given from number 1 to 100. The numbers which are actually blue colored, they are all the prime numbers, and the black colored numbers are composite numbers. Remember, 1 is neither prime nor composite. Now then, the prime numbers, let's recall the fact. The number which you can divide by 1 or the number itself is known as a prime number. The blue colored number are only divisible by 1 or the number itself, and all the other numbers you can divide by 1, by the number itself, or maybe any other number also. That's why they are known as composite numbers. So it is necessary to have the knowledge of prime and composite numbers before learning the prime factorization method to find the square root of a number. Now, let's try to learn the prime factorization method to find the square root of a number. Here for the example we are going to take the number 256. Let's try to find the square root of it using the prime factorization method. What we need to do here, we need to factorize 256 using only the prime numbers. We know that 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, dash 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 are prime numbers. So just we need to divide 256 till we get 1 as the result. But remember, we have to divide the number with only prime numbers. That is the basic concept of the method, which is known as prime factorization method. So we are dividing 256 by 2, we are getting 128. Further we are going to divide by 2, then 64 we are getting, then divide by 2, we are getting 32, then 16, then 8, 4, 2, 1. Now the result we are having 1. So here the method what we are going to apply, that is over here. Now it's time to get the right answer. Remember one thing, to do the division using the prime numbers, the divisibility test you have learnt in standard 5 will be much more helpful. Now we are trying to get the final answer over here. The prime factorization done for the number 256. The result we are writing on the right hand side, 256 equals to 2. How many times we have written? 8 times. You can check over here, and those actually 8 2's we need to actually make pair of two digits. Now listen, in the first yellow circle we have taken 2 times number 2, then the second group again 2 times number 2 covered, again 2 times number 2 covered, and again. So 4 groups created for the given number 256. Now further we are writing 256 is equals to, for the first group we have written 2 square, for the second group also 2 square, for the third, and for the fourth one. So 256 is equals to nothing but 2 square, that is 4 times. Now actually we are applying this method to find the square root of a number. So now the sign of square root, you can see square root of 256 is equals to. Now we need to find the square root on both the side, left hand side and right hand side. We have applied the square root sign on 256, that is left hand side. Now the right hand side, if I am going to find the square root of, where 2 square 4 times actually there, we have to remove the square sign from the top. As you know, the square root of 4 square is nothing but 4. Square root of 5 square, that is nothing but 5. So here the square root of 2 square, that is 2. Again for the 2 square it is 2. So 4 times 2 square gives us the answer 4 times 2. So square root of 256 is 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, that is nothing but 16. So 16 is the square root of the number 256. We have actually derived the answer using the prime factorization method here. Using the prime factorization method, now you can find the square root of the given numbers. Numbers are given in the increasing order of digits. One by one you can apply the prime factorization method rightly, and at the end I believe you are going to master the prime factorization method to find the square root of any number. So here 9 sums given to you. Practice yourself. Try to get the answer on your own. All the best, students.